leaders because one of my favorite things is to teach.
Yeah.
Uh, and maybe like you can resonate. Like as you grow up, you start getting new responsibilities, and it's not that I was like really really like, oh man, like I'm getting bad at leading. It's more just like, do I really have the time to really develop as a leader? Like, can you resonate with that?
Mm-hmm. I got that.
That's kind of like what just really happened. And I guess like hiccups were at the time, our leading style has always been just super aggressive. Um, and I think you can resonate that when you're in the eighth. We never really like hung up by hills or
Yeah, you
kind of
never
played
really
the long
stopped
game.
going. It was constantly like go, 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 you
Yeah,
know?
like we're just like on the offensive 24/7. Like we're just like we're all about like gaining ground like 24/7. Like if we lose two people, I've seen this so many times, right? I've seen this where like a lot of newer people like they'll do a reverse column. Um, they'll do a reverse column after they get two people shot. Like there's a regiment on a hill, right? And they'll move their line towards them, and then like two people will get shot, and they're like reverse column, and then lose that ground that those two people have paid for by blood, and it's like it doesn't make any sense. So like in the eighth, we're just like fuck. Like if you die, like bless your soul, like you're a virgin for the rest of your life. Like you died a virgin. Congratulations. Like we just gotta keep moving, you know. Like and so that's kind of our style. We always keep moving forward, and we try to get like we always move forward. And I think what regiments are have to deal with us is that, and I've seen videos of people against us, and it's kind of like a generic thing that happens. Like they're like these guys are always just moving towards us. It's really annoying, and it's like that's what we do. We do a lot of like high pressure attacks, and so when we get close to someone, we really, since our drill has been on point, and since our regiment has been around for a long time, we have a lot of chemistry. There's been instances that like I can just mumble and the regiment knows what to do, like they understand, and so like when we get really close to these regiments, we can like really like do a bunch of different stuff really fast compared to other regiments. So that's kind of our edge in needing. Uh, in the hiccups that came with that was like the new metas, like the new metas of reverse columns, the new metas of like people running around everywhere. Because back in the day, uh, it was more like people were in lines, right? Like now, like you can like now if it's a line's getting shot at, you see them spreading out like 5 to 6 man spacing. That would never happen back in the day. That would be just straight up cheating. And now it's just like, oh, we're getting shot at. Let's run away from each other, 6 man spacing, and come back into a line and shoot at them. Like, when is that like? How is that even legal nowadays? I don't even understand that. So that's the kind of like hiccups that we've encountered because we're a very like drill focused regiment and facing other regiments that are not drill focused that are just kind of like really loose in the way that they form their lines.
One of the things that I also want to get into is the melee of the eighth and how you ended up teaching that.
So we kind of just taught ourselves. Um, like I said, like from back in the day, we it's really weird because a lot of people. I'm sure your regiment has a training map. Um, we don't. We've never used training maps, which is
Uh huh.
kind of weird. And so basically, we just started ourselves by death matching. We just death matched over and over again, and the chaos of the death match is probably one of the best trainings you can ever get, right? So we would just like spawn in with like 10, 15 of us, and we death match it out. Like as soon as you kill someone, you have to instantly turn around and block because there was a person spawning behind you. And so that's how we trained our melee. That's how we developed our style. Our style is very aggressive, very like very transitiony. Like we transition between one player to another. That's our number one rule. We have three rules in the eighth for melee. We have one: make sure there's always someone to your left and right. If there's nobody to your left and right, shouldn't be there. Uh, Number two: never get tunnel vision. If you're on a person for more than 5 seconds, you're doing it wrong, and you should transition to somebody else. Uh, Number three: you should never ever be the one to be baiting anybody else
Mm-hmm.
unless they're asked for it. And so that's kind of our three rules for melee: no tunnel vision, make sure there's somebody to your left and right, and don't get greedy. That's kind of our rules. And we use what's called the buddy system. We use what we call the stack. A stack is just basically like one player's in the front and one player's diagonal to that player left or right. And That way, everyone's got a buddy. Everyone's covered, and yeah. And as for our group fighting, we kind of just form stacks all over the map, and like you know how line battle lines, like when you get into a line battle melee, when one side touches the other, then they immediately start fighting, right? But like the person to break that line almost immediately dies because they get swallowed because
Yeah.
their line is already there and they have people. So whenever we engage our melee, and I guess this is kind of like help for everybody else, like whenever we see we break their line, when we break their line, we instantly fall back to our own line to make it an even melee because we don't want you to get swallowed and die. Like that's pointless. Like you broke their line, that's awesome, but come back to us and then form your stack and win it out. That's kind of our melee style as a regiment. Um, but individually, melee styles are different. I have a different melee style than most, um,
What
but
are some notable meleeers who came out of?
again, nobody really knows our meleeers.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. You know?
But some notable meleeers from our regiment have been okay. So we have one player named Jay. Jay is probably one of the most insane players I've ever met. At NW, he is super insane at group fighting. He's a really awesome duelist. And he at the time he was better than me for a little while. And but nowadays he doesn't really play that much. He does come on for league matches, but same player. And so we have players like Clement. Clement's an insane group fighter. He's not the best duelist, but when it comes to group fighting, he'll drop like 20 kills, 25 kills. We have players like Alcaro. Alcaro is probably one of like the fastest players that we have in terms of like how fast he can react to things. Awesome player. Probably like the worst human being you ever meet, but he's an awesome player. And then we have players like myself. I don't want to toot my own horn, but like I'm pretty known towards the NW community, so um, I would say I'm a group fighter, not really a duelist, and I think I'm a good player coming out of the eighth. We also have players like Kami Cow. There's tons of them. Like Kami Cow is insane chambering. Like he does chambers everything you throw at him, no matter what. And so he is really really cool when it comes to that. But there's a lot more people that I want to give credit to, but really like there's too many.
Now for your melee style in particular, it's always been something that's been interesting to me, and I think other people would find it interesting. Could you go over like some of the ways you get kills and how you do your melee personally?
So like over the time, melee's kind of gotten different. So back in the day, melee was more like how fast you were at dueling and how good you were at dueling. Uh, Also, back in the day, you could double X. Double Xing is basically now you can't do it, but before the patch, you could do it. Basically, you just like while you're fainting, you can hit your X button to switch you from melee to shooting. And if you did it really fast, then basically like you fainted 3 times as fast as normal fainting, and it was unpredictable. Like you couldn't really predict it that well as to where to block it. So it was really broken. Really, like there's some players that were insane at it, and it was broken at the time, and that's why they patched it. But nowadays, my style is more like I don't know, like I just play with pure confidence. I do things that maybe a normal player wouldn't, just because like they're too conservative of their life because they want to be the one to shine. They want to be in that last 2v2 situation and stuff like that. I don't care. I just kind of like just do my thing. Like I like like in a group fight, I'll go on either side and I'll just push it like a steam plow, like a crazed pregnant woman needs to get to the hospital. I'll plow that line uh, and that's what I'll do. And I'll block like 6 people for like at least 5 seconds, and that's just enough time for the rest of the team to come in and backstab them because they're too distracted. Um, and that's kind of my melee style. I've also created things like the Crouching Tiger, like the Flying Eagle,
Oh
a
yeah.
bunch of other stuff. But I think what people get is surprised when they fight me. They don't really expect the things that I do, and I think that's what that edge that I have. Um, but for the most part, I don't think my melee has really been seen because I haven't really like played serious against A lot of people have only had two official first to sevens. I had a first to seven against Emo, lost 7-6, and then I had a first to seven against Gottfried 7-5, I believe, and then for group fight, like official group fights, I really haven't done too many um, in tournaments wise. So really, like nobody really knows how good I am. I just like everyone just says, yeah, that gets pretty all right, and that's it.
Now for what you've done, I feel like we've definitely covered quite a bit, but is there anything else that you'd want?
No, I think that's pretty much it. There's not really a lot to tell. like like definitely like the one of the things I want to cover is just to let everyone know uh to really just like tell people in the NW community like that we're a very unique community, and I think that everyone should just try to get along a little more. I think there's definitely like things that in the community that we can improve. And I think that what affected the community the most is the whole hiding behind the screen effect. Because the NW community is filled with people who love to talk crap about other players and love to talk like just immense amount of like keyboard warriors. And so I think that like we just need to get better at getting along with each other because like our community is very, very unique and it's very niche. So as people are getting more hostile towards each other and people are refusing to play against other people or people are bringing literal personal things in life to the game, that's really making our community smaller. And so I think that like we just need to be better at like I wouldn't say like perfectly like yeah we're in peace and all that, but mostly just like understanding each other and not really trying to kill the community because like every time a player like leaves the NW community, that's like a big deal because like our community really isn't that big.
Yeah, for sure. Well, on that note, George, I have had an awesome time having you on, and I definitely appreciate you taking your time out of your day and coming on the podcast. One last time, I'd like you to plug your stuff just so people don't forget.
Yeah, just make sure you guys have a lookout for the thread coming up for the TNWL Pro Circuit. It's going to be awesome. I'll hope the aspiring mailers will go and join it. Also, if you want to check out my Twitch channel, it's that's where it's going to be streamed. It's going to be at Twitch slash JORGESI101. And if you want to look at my YouTube channel, it's George Box, JORGE space BOX. Appreciate it for everybody watching. Anthony, thank you so much for having me along, and I hope the best for your regiment, and I hope the best for you in League One, and hopefully everything's up perfect for you.
All right, thank you, George. I very much appreciate it. It's been an awesome time. Guys, thank you for listening. This has been the interview with 8th George.